Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde. Welcome to EFA83 on this Sunday, June 14th. Today I'm going to talk about how and why I lost 100 pounds, nearly 100 pounds now, averaging around 90. I'm almost at 100 pounds. I probably truly believe I'm going to balance out a lifestyle about 120 pounds of loss. That's what I'm guesstimating based on what I see, based on what I know. I went deep into the rabbit hole on this one back previous to June 3rd. I started researching, I started really looking deep. Like I told you on previous EFAs, I have done many diets and I won't name names, but they all fail. They all fail. The reason why the people that live the lifestyle I live 15, 20 years later, they're still fit as, like you wouldn't believe, fit as fiddles. And the reason being is because they follow this lifestyle, a lifestyle that we're built and engineered for DNA-wise. Our system, our self-cleaning oven is already pre-built, pre-engineered, pre-everything. We, human beings, change our system. We, the system, loves us to be sick because there's a big business behind us being sick and trying to get people out of being sick and et cetera, and these food charts and these government sanctioned food this and food that, which are backed by industry. Right? So I stopped following all that kind of stuff. I basically started following my own mind and soul, and I went after what our human beings are designed to eat, how we're designed to eat, and I started researching, and this is what I came out with. So this is how I, Jean-Guy Bourguignon, nearly lost 100 pounds almost over a year ago now on June 3rd. We are now at June 14th, I mentioned. So June 3rd, a little over a year ago, I'm nearly at 100 pounds lost, and I really believe I'm going to balance out at 120 for the rest of loss for the rest of my life. So I'm going to be around the 230ish, 240ish probably for the rest of my life or close to it. Here's how. So we are meant to eat once, twice a day. Max, right? You can eat 3 times a day, it's fine, but not 17 to 21 times a day like we are doing. The average North American eats 17 to 21 times a day, from your 200 calorie muffin to your 500 calorie coffee. I'm not kidding you. That's where we're at right now. So we are not engineered that way. Our self-cleaning oven doesn't work properly when we're eating that much. We need a 16-hour no-calorie window. What does that mean? In that 16 hours, I drink a lot of fluids, non-calorie fluids, your waters, your sparkling waters, your coffee, black espressos, black teas, green teas, etc. All that kind of stuff, non-calorie. That's what I do for 16 hours. And then you have your eating windows. In those eating windows, I go all natural. I'm going to explain to you everything in detail, but why did I choose this lifestyle? Because there's several communities on Earth, cultures that I talked about in previous CFAs, and there's 5 of them, and there's actually a 6-group category, the ones that eat the least. The ones that eat the least, along with, I'm gonna break it down for you here, and then Sardinia, Italy. I mentioned this on a previous EFA, okay? They're in Okinawa, Japan. I'm gonna start going here. Ikaria, Greece, number 3. Nicoya, Costa Rica, number 4. Seventh-day Adventist, especially the California group, number 5, and those that eat the least. Those lifestyles, Sardinia, Italy, Okinawa, Japan, Greece, Nicoya, Costa Rica, Seventh-day Adventists, people that eat the least, those are the lifestyles, the groups that live the longest on Earth, on this planet. Healthy longest. I'm talking 90, 100 years. I'm talking gardening at 105. I'm serious here. This is data. This is fact. This is on Earth, okay? And what do they have in common? And this is what they have in common is what I chose to introduce in my life. This is all I did. I went after the facts and the data, right? And I'm going to explain to you why. And those that I follow on the internet, I won't mention names right now, but there's some very, very smart individual podcasts on the internet that I follow, and they educated me a lot back when. Then I educated myself, and I researched, and there's an Italian doctor that I follow, and etc. So some very, very intellectual individuals. This is what they all have in common, which I introduced, especially with COVID-19 back in March. I really pushed a lot of these things forward, but the lifestyle I started back June 3rd, 2019. Strong family closeness. One of the commonalities of all those groups there, strong family closeness, strong community with lots of outdoor living. No, that would not be healthy, right? Strong. The other one, Mediterranean lifestyle foods. Commonality amongst all of them, they eat natural, grass-fed and grass-finished meat type products, organically naturally raised meats and poultry. Okay, these are all key words here. Eating natural fruits, vegetables, beans, squash, corn, nuts, seeds, whole grain, potatoes. They eat potatoes, avocado, olives, and olive oil, right? Lemon and lime. You're talking about they're called sour foods. They add a lot of lemon and lime to their foods. Dark chocolate and cacao. Every day I take dark chocolate and cacao. natural herbs and spices, and I'm going to talk about breaking my fast. The first calorie in my body is my natural supplements. I'm going to get into that. At no point here did I mention processed food or unnatural sugars, did I? They don't eat processed food and they don't access unnatural sugars, which today in North American world we have over 60 different names for sugars. They also are engine. I talked about our engine, our self-cleaning oven. Our DNA, autophagy, is what I'm aiming for. Every day my minimum is 16 hours. I talked about this before. During my 6 weekdays, Monday through to Saturday, I average probably a 2-hour eating window, a feasting window, and on Sundays I average a 4 to 6 hour feasting eating window, and I'll explain all that. Why? Because our human body is designed for that. Our self-cleaning oven to get rid of toxins and bad proteins, which a lot of this stuff leads to cancer, dementia, Parkinson's, diabetes, Alzheimer, sleep apnea. I can keep going here if you want me to name them all that are tied to unhealthy eating, unhealthy living lifestyles, etc. Then I started eating like I meant to eat, like my body was meant to eat. I no longer started listening to government and the food charts and that are all backed by industry, right? And you can go to your schools and all the sugars and junks in schools and etc. all backed by industry, right? So that whole government food chart out the window. I just got rid of it, and then it became free. It was literally free, and it was simple as 1, 2, 3. A lifestyle that's free. That's why they don't teach it. And it was simple as 1, 2, 3. So what did I do different? Intermittent fasting. I started with intermittent fasting, which if a lot, look at my old podcast, a lot of research out there. I started with intermittent fasting. My intermittent fasting increased and developed eventually to OMAD, 1 meal a day. Then in those lifestyles, I introduced keto-ish type foods, right? Keto-ish desserts, which are your high fats, your meat and proteins, and very low carbs, but good fats and good chocolates and good decadence and etc. No processed food, no sugars. No unnatural sugars and no processed. I drink this kind of water, stuff like this, for example. I need a package to carry water, right? So there's some stuff that is like kind of package processed, but the ingredients are not processed, right? This is just sparkling water, a couple little things. That's it, right? That's what I eat. I rarely open a box or a bag or anything unless it has. I need a package for it. People tell me, "Do you drink?" Absolutely, I drink, but I drink when I drink. Let's just say wine, my red wines, I'm an extra dry. And I was really surprised how many people do not know what extra dry wines are. Like, the difference is, it's like drinking a bottle of water or a bottle of pop. That's the difference. Like some of the wines I've showed people, you have 45 grams per liter, your residual sugar per liter. What? I drink extra XD. What do you mean XD? What kind of wine is that? There's tons of wine. There's some fantastic wines out there. They're all XDs. Dry reds, less than 2 grams per liter. That's what I drink. And if I do drink alcohol, it'll be vodka or bourbon, for example, with a sparkling water. I don't add pop. I don't add anything else. So I drink a bottle of wine on Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. I drink bottles of wine with my dinners. And people go, "You drink 3-4 bottles of wine a week and you still lost 100 pounds?" Yeah, I did. and it's because of the way I live. I also don't count calories. I don't do macros. I don't do micros. I rarely ever measure unless I'm preparing something and following a recipe. There's no prep work at all that I do. At all. I don't. I buy smart. I buy smart food. I'm saving money. I'm saving so much money enjoying the foods. My meal, the conversations that come with it, I really like 1 meal a day. I make it count. And I truly love the food that I eat now, and it's also the conversations that come with it. There's like a life around the food that I eat, which is like, it becomes an integral part. Remember I talked about in the beginning the lifestyles and the strong families and all that, the communities? I really see that. I see that because the way I eat my food now, it hasn't become just nom 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 nom. Like I'm not a cow and you're constantly chewing and constantly going to the bathroom. You don't live like that at all. It becomes a totally different mindset. So no prep work. I buy smart food. I'm saving money. My foods include homemade desserts. I talked about large meal. Like I will sit down tonight. I could have a big steak. I'll have potatoes. I'll have vegetables. I'll have dessert. I'll have a soup. I'll have a salad. I'll have a bottle of wine. I'll have a coffee. Like I don't skimp at all. It's as if I've worked on a farm all day for 12 hours and I come in and I eat. And people are like, "You eat all that? You still lost 100 pounds?" I still lost 100 pounds, and I still eat all that. So my large meals, conversation with family, that it enforces family and community values in all aspects. Right, in all aspects. My lifestyle in a healthy nutshell, and this is what it is. So everything I just read you, my lifestyle in a healthy nutshell No calories for a minimum of 16 hours. Remember, no calories for a minimum of 16 hours. First thing in my body is my water formulation, which is, I've talked about this before, water, apple cider vinegar, creatine, and salt mixed in together. Most of the time when you're craving something, you're pretty much craving salt. So just a couple of shakes of salt in there. Look at my previous CFAs. That's the first thing in my body. During fasting, the 16 minimum, which I average around 20, like I told you before, 22 during the week and 20 during the week on Sundays. But during the fasting, no calories whatsoever, but unlimited waters, unlimited black coffees, espressos, green tea, sparkling waters, you name it, just no calorie beverages. Prior to consuming calories and after a minimum of 16 hours of fasting, I break my fast. Remember, breakfast comes from the word breaking the fast, and the intent when you break the fast, the first thing in your body should be something healthy, right? So what do I choose to do? I started my own lifestyle when I tweaked and balanced and everything. I started introducing all natural supplements like turmeric, curcumin, mushrooms. I can keep going on here, but that's the first calories in my body with my water formulation. That's what I absorb. So my body absorbs that first, especially after, like, imagine 22 hours on average every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't eat for 22 hours average. I drink all those fluids that I talked about, and then by the time I do eat something, the first thing that goes into my body is those supplements, all natural, right? My body absorbs that first. Doesn't that make sense, right? That'll be absorbed first, and then the good foods go in, the all natural foods go in, the foods with no process and no sugars in that. And during my feasting window, very important, during the feasting window, I have real meals, right? I make them count. I enjoy them over conversations. It's priceless. You're gonna see what I mean. It's priceless. The lower sugar counts in wines I've talked about, tons of wine selections out there, great companies that have 2 grams or less. Again, the vodkas, the bourbon, the sparkling waters, just no pop whatsoever. The positive side effects of all this, again, I've lost 100, I'll probably lose about 120, I'm gonna balance out. You sleep better, you have increase in activity. You're chasing, you want to train more, you have a hunger for stamina building exercises. I'm not kidding you. On the job sites, anything I do, I look at it as if I'm doing a CrossFit workout. You have this hunger for stamina building exercise. You're chasing more activity. You really want to do something. You get up early, naturally, it lights up. You're asleep, like I said, you sleep so good. You remove stressors from your limbs. Remember, for every pound you lose, you take off 4 pounds of pressure off your knees, you take off 6 pounds of pressure off your hips. Do the math. I've lost 400 pounds of pressure per square inch now on my knees. I've taken off 600 pounds of pressure per square inch off my hips thus far. Think about that, what I just said to you, right? So that right there, you're removing stressors from your limbs, and you're cleaning from the inside out. You shrink wrap, your abs come out, everything, there's no skin draping, there's no nut, you're basically shrink wrapping, and the medical conditions dissipate. Remember, the Alzheimer's, dementia, the Parkinson, the diabetes, the sleep apnea, dissipate or disappear. You're also removing the eventual reality of diseases when you stop eating all that poison. When you stop eating all that poison and subjecting yourself to all that stuff, you remove the eventual reality of all these diseases that like we talked about before. There's children, non-alcoholic liver disease, never heard of. Like all these man boobs and all these the jump in diabetes, the jump in sleep apnea, the jump in everything in the last 20, 30 years. Just mind-boggling, right off the chart, right? Children are predeceasing their parents. Are saying all these conditions that we have for children now, and all these medication we have them on, and how does somebody get on 40, 50, 60 pills a day, and et cetera, et cetera. That's how, right? The way we're living. That's why I chose to do what I do. I'm choosing to live the rest of my life much better than I did. It's more important for me to be healthier now than in my youth. I truly believe that. It's more important for me to train now than when I did in my youth, right? At 54, growing forward, more important. So the removing of the illnesses, all the positive effect, but there's negative side effects also. One of the negative side effects, you're going to require a new wardrobe. A lot of you are smiling. It's not a joke. I'm seriously. You're going to require an entire new wardrobe. Like I'm mind-boggled. I'm mind-boggled on which I am just completely not fitting into stuff at all. Like literally, I went from 48 pants, I'm down to like 38ish. I went from 3XL shirts, I'm down to larges. Just mind-boggling change. The body, what I've gone through. The other side effect that I have, bones. I thought, I was going like, do I have cancer? What's going on? Like my entire back, I talked about the ergonomics in vehicles and everything was killing me. It was getting worse and worse and worse. And then there's not much research out there. And then I started going to forums and that. And then I found people that lost 100 pounds, 150 pounds, etc. And they're all going through the same thing. Major spinal issues, not spinal issues like that way, but major type of radiating type of pain going down the spine, down to the lower back, etc. It's the reverse of growing spurts. So basically, I've lost 100 pounds, so all that fat and junk and everything that's in between the spinal cords and everything, it's basically getting back to its 100 pounds less size. So it's basically recontracting. So I'm getting straighter. It talks about your back, the curve from all the fat boobs and the stomach and the posture and all that. You're straightening out. You're starting to go stand straight again, right? So it's very, very interesting, but I'll do a whole podcast on that because of the back issues. So what did I started doing? I started stretching. I started doing more yoga. I started doing inversion therapy, etc. Healthier stuff. Just naturally draws you to do healthier stuff. That, in a nutshell, is my lifestyle. That's it. It's simple. 1, 2, 3. It's free. All I did. That's all I did. And people ask me, like, what are you counting? What do you do? I don't count nothing. I don't do anything special. I can just leave the house with my water in my hand, and that's it. If I'm on the road, there's tons of places out there for a drive-through if you want to do drive-through, and great restaurants. Again, I make my meals count. I make my meals count, so I try to have a nice sit-down dinner anywhere I go, whether it's a restaurant or whether it's a house and that. If you're on the road, if you're boogieing all the time, I stop at burger places, and they will do you a lettuce wrap, good lettuce wrap. I'll do a triple patty, all loaded up with vegetables and all the good condiments, like your mustards and that, your pickles and stuff that don't have that sugar junk in it. And I just load it up, like seriously load it up, and you can eat just like that. You can have 2 of them. I will eat a big meal when I do eat, and I take my time eating it, and I enjoy it, and I savor it, and I drink the wine, I drink the water, I drink the coffee. I just relax, enjoy life, enjoy the food, and that's it in a nutshell. You want advice? Write me. I'll send you I'll just send it to you. I've been probably over 100 people now. I've sent emails to you. This is what I do. Everybody's asking, what are you doing? So here it is. I'll give it to you. Send me a message, and I'll email you my secrets. It's not a secret. I just basically combine a whole bunch of lifestyles, put them all together, tweak them for me, which you're going to do for yourself. That's exactly what happens. You're going to tweak it for yourself based on your lifestyle, and you're going to find out what works for you. Jean-Guy Bourguignon, Equality for All, EFA83. Wishing each and every one of you a healthy and most productive week ahead of you.